Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, continues to be an international bestseller for the simple reason that it ignores trends in pop psychology.
It focuses on the timeless principles of fairness, integrity, honesty, and human dignity.
One of the most compelling books ever written, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, has empowered and inspired readers across the globe for over 25 years.
Yeah, it's also played a part in the transformation of millions of lives across all age groups and professions.
You know, at the time of Dr. Covey's passing in 2012, clients included more than 75% of Fortune 500 companies and over 90% of Fortune 100 companies.
Yeah, those are absolutely stunning statistics.
They truly are. This means that over a significant period of time during the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, just about every major executive and every major leadership team in America had immersed themselves in this content. I mean, Allison, that is mind-boggling.
Yeah, we don't believe there is another leadership program out there that could boast those kinds of numbers. In order to become an incredible leader, The 7 Habits begins with powerful lessons in personal change.
Yeah, you know, and no matter how competent we are, we will not have sustained and lasting success unless we can effectively lead ourselves, influence, engage, and collaborate with others,
and continuously improve and renew our capabilities.
Yeah.
These elements are the heart of personal, team, and organizational effectiveness.
That's right. And one of the things that we find to be so powerful is that before we can become more effective with those around us, we must first focus on becoming more effective ourselves. In other words, we must first look inward.
Yep. So let's begin with individual effectiveness. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is the proven operating system for individual effectiveness. As we work through habits 1, 2, and 3, our participants develop increased maturity, greater productivity, and the ability to manage themselves.
By the time we cover the first half of the program, which Dr. Covey refers to as the private victory, participants will have the ability to execute critical priorities with laser-like focus and careful planning. And in regard to this, something we see time and time again is that participants feel like they are in better control of their lives by implementing what's called Big Rock scheduling.
Yeah, I'll admit, Doug, I don't know if I have ever seen anyone that has mastered the art of big rocks and block scheduling quite like you have.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. You know, I have worked extremely hard to master the art of scheduling over the past 25 plus years.
Yeah, and I believe that it is a major reason that you've been able to work on so many different things without absolutely losing your mind or disappointing those around you.
Well, and I'm going to say this, with your help and inspiration, Allison, you know, the past couple of years, I've been doing a much better job now of scheduling things actually outside of work.
Well, we're both certainly working to improve ourselves each day. Now, after we've worked to master our individual effectiveness in habits 1 through 3, we move on to our effectiveness with our teams. In other words, becoming more dynamic, thoughtful, and inspirational leaders.
Yeah. And now Dr. Covey referred to this part as turning to the public victory. The 7 Habits is also the proven operating system for team effectiveness. Participants will learn how to increase team engagement, morale, and collaboration. Teams come away with improved skills in both communication and in relationship building.
Maybe like we try not to have a favorite child, we both try not to have a favorite habit, but I believe it's hard to argue that both of us don't really love habit 5. As a psychotherapist and communications expert, I've been sharing and implementing much of what's contained in habit 5 in my private practice for well over a decade.
Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. An incredibly powerful set of ideas that our clients repeatedly say is one of their favorite parts of our events.
Yeah, our clients say that the ideas we share in this section alone are worth the price of admission. And we agree. We've developed quite the reputation around the country with some of our antics during the listening and communication portion of our training, haven't we?
Whew. Yeah, we certainly have. It has become quite a memorable experience for everyone involved. Even without our humorous approach to this, the content we deliver here is absolutely life-changing.
Yeah, it definitely is. Speaking of individual habits, let's provide a brief overview of this program, Habit by Habit.
Well, great. Before we even dive into the habits, day one of the event will begin with something that Dr. Covey termed foundations. Now, as we begin with foundations, we'll be sharing how we can build our life and our business with character. Covey referred to this as the roots of effectiveness.
Yeah, in this opening segment, we'll be discussing the personality ethic versus the character ethic, how we view the world through our own paradigms, and how we can use the principles to govern our behaviors, leading to effective results.
Yeah, and then we'll be moving from habit one, be proactive. The habit will focus on the stimulus versus response, and that we have the ability to choose our behavior, and that the choice to be either reactive or proactive. Yeah, and then from there, we'll be moving into habit one, be proactive. This habit will focus on stimulus and response. We have the ability to choose our behavior and the choice to be either reactive or proactive.
Yeah. In this habit, we will also tackle a concept known as our circle of influence versus our circle of concerns. This is where we'll work to become focused on what we can control and influence instead of what we can't.
Yep, and then next up, habit two, begin with the end in mind. Here we'll define clear measures of success and a plan to achieve them.
In other words, the habit of vision. In this section, we'll work to create a personal mission statement and get clear about our why in our life and business.
Yep. In habit three, we'll begin to put first things first, working to prioritize and achieve our most important goals instead of constantly reacting to urgent tasks.
Some people refer to these things as the burning fires that erupt in our lives and seem to throw us off track. We'll share how to guide our lives by the compass rather than the clock, effectively eliminating the unimportant things that so often seem to distract us from being the most effective versions of ourselves.
Yeah. And when we move from habit three to habit four, we'll be moving from private victory to public victory.
Yeah, during this time, we'll be working on an incredibly powerful concept called the emotional bank account. This is a metaphor that relates to the amount of trust that exists in a relationship at any point in time. Once you've experienced this content, you'll see and interact in your relationships in an entirely new way.
We'll then dive head first into habit five.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Yeah.
I just interrupted you. I was
That's
excited
right.
about
It's
it.
the opposite of what we'll be sharing. As we previously mentioned, this is certainly one of our favorites.
Oh, all of these habits, I think, are our favorites. Rest assured, when you master this habit with us, you'll be able to influence others by developing a deep understanding of their needs and perspectives.
It's true. Empathic listening ain't no joke. It could very well be considered the keys to life's kingdom.
And it will be mind-blowing.
You know what's coming up next, right, Allison?
Yes, I believe I do, although working with you is always a surprise.
What's coming up next, Allison? What's coming up next?
Habit 6.
Synergize!
Yes.
That's right. The reason and the inspiration behind our company name. Synergy Learning Systems is all about synergizing.
Yes, it is. In this habit, we'll share how to develop innovative solutions where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Yeah, we are better together than we are on our own. When we synergize, we arrive at something better together than what we were able to do alone.
Yeah, in this habit, we'll work to value and actually celebrate our differences, including differences of beliefs, opinions, and perspective.
You make a really good point there. It is our opinion that this is a much needed thing in our society today.
Yeah, a concept that is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, it seems that so many people these days have taken the position that if we don't agree with someone or something, then we can't be friends.
Yeah.
Or, we're supposed to just despise the other person if we can't agree.
Yeah, and we simply don't believe that to be the case.
And that brings us to habit 7, sharpen the saw, the habit of renewal.
In this habit, we'll share how it's possible to increase motivation, increase our energy, and increase our work-life balance by designing time for activities that renew us.
To maintain and increase effectiveness, we must renew ourselves in body, heart, mind, and soul.
Yep, we'll share how to renew ourselves consistently in 4 major dimensions.
Yep, being the physical and mental dimensions.
Yep, and the social emotional dimension and the spiritual dimension.
Yes. Those that know me know I've been blocking out at least 30 to 60 minutes per day for the past 27 years to focus on this habit of renewal. Today, a lot of that looks like listening to books on Audible on a daily basis, or even a consistent physical fitness and nutrition regimen, as well as a commitment to making deposits into the emotional bank accounts of others. And that's just to name a few. Allison, I know that you're committed to these same types of things and even more.
Yeah, for sure. And we can't wait to share all of those things and more when we see you at our next 7 Habits leadership event.
Yep, and these events are typically held only twice per year. Once in December, just before we hit the new year, and once again in the late spring or early summer. And you know what? We would be honored to work with you and your team at our next event.